Imagine that someone places an hourglass in front of you. The sand begins to fall. Slowly, silently, almost imperceptibly. At first, it seems as though nothing is happening. There is still plenty of sand remaining above, plenty of time, plenty of opportunities, plenty of tomorrows. But if you look away for a while and then return, something has changed. The pile has become smaller. The time has become shorter. And what once seemed abundant suddenly feels fragile. This is the spirit of Meditations Book 3. Marcus Aurelius asks us to confront a truth that many people spend their entire lives avoiding. Life is short. Not because he wished to make us fearful, not because he wanted us to become obsessed with death, but because he understood something profound. Only when we recognize that time is limited do we begin to understand its value. There is an old story about a monk who lived high in the mountains. Every morning, before sunrise, he would walk to the edge of a cliff and watch the horizon.
One day, a young traveller asked him, "Master, why do you repeat the same ritual every day?" The monk smiled. "Because the sunrise reminds me that one day I will see it for the last time." The traveller looked disturbed. "Doesn't that thought make you sad?" The monk shook his head. "No, it makes me pay attention." How often do we move through life as though time were guaranteed? We postpone important conversations. We delay meaningful work. We tell ourselves we will start tomorrow. We wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect version of ourselves. And while we wait, the hourglass continues to empty. Marcus observed this tendency everywhere. People wasting years chasing approval, years consumed by resentment, years spent worrying about things beyond their control, years sacrificed to distractions that would eventually mean nothing. And perhaps the tragedy is not that life is short. Perhaps the tragedy is realizing it too late. There is another story. A student once asked an elderly monk, "Master, what is the most valuable thing a person possesses?" The student expected the answer to be wisdom, or health, or inner peace. Instead, the monk replied, "Attention." The student seemed confused. The monk continued, "Because wherever your attention goes, your life follows." And is this not true? The years themselves do not disappear all at once. They disappear one day at a time, one afternoon at a time, one distracted moment at a time. Our lives are built from what we consistently pay attention to. If our attention belongs to trivial things, our lives become trivial. If our attention belongs to meaningful things, our lives become meaningful. Marcus understood this deeply. That is why Book 3 repeatedly returns to the idea of focus. Do what is in front of you. Do it well. Do it honestly. do it while you still have the chance. Not because achievement is everything, but because presence is everything. Many people imagine that a meaningful life requires extraordinary accomplishments.
Marcus suggests something simpler. The meaningful life is often built from ordinary moments lived fully. The conversation you keep postponing, the project you know you should begin, the kindness you keep delaying, the gratitude you never express, the dream you continue placing in the future. These moments appear small, yet they quietly become the architecture of an entire life. The monk from the mountains once gave his students a simple exercise. At the end of every day, he asked them one question. If today had been your final day, would you be satisfied with how you spent it? Not because death was imminent, but because awareness creates clarity. When we remember that our time is finite, unnecessary concerns begin to lose their power. Petty arguments feel smaller. Meaningless distractions feel less attractive. Excuses become harder to justify. And suddenly we can see what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of the largest empire on earth. Yet even he knew that power could not negotiate with time. Wealth could not purchase another year. Status could not delay mortality. Every person shares the same destination. The difference lies in how we use the journey. This is why the Stoics did not meditate on death to become gloomy. They meditated on death to become awake, to stop drifting, to stop postponing life, to stop treating today as though it were unlimited. So tonight, before you sleep, consider one question. If you knew that your time was precious, and it is, what deserves more of your attention, and what deserves less? Because life is not measured by how long we live. It is measured by how fully we inhabit the moments we are given. And if this journey made you reflect, right below, if you had only 1 year left to live, what would you stop doing immediately? Subscribe to Why We Think, and together we'll continue exploring the timeless ideas that help us live with greater wisdom, purpose,